partly about like what can we take out of it now, and also speaking to its enduringness. Is that this is a book that's grappling with modernity. So, Baudelaire coined the term modernity in like 1936 or something, or maybe it's 46. But anyway, it was the Industrial Revolution. We had urban areas expanding for the first time. And so the stuff that people were dealing with then is exactly what we're dealing with now in terms of work and money and class, as I was focusing on here. So we tend to think of the mid-1800s as being very, very far away, and they certainly look like they have nothing to do with us, with their hoop skirts and their bonnets. But in fact, there was a modern consciousness coming into being, and the late feminist historian Gerda Lerner, when she set out to write the book, The Creation of Patriarchy, no. She wanted to write the book. She wanted to write about why did it take so long for feminism to happen? Why? And then when she started addressing that question, she realized that, well, to understand why, she had to understand patriarchy and how it came to be. So she wrote The Creation of Patriarchy instead. And then she wrote The Creation of Feminist Consciousness. And Alcott's, it's interesting, people weren't using the word feminist at this time. She's obviously a feminist, and really what her sensibility boils down to, I think of, is just feminism is common sense. That if you're a smart woman, and if you were lucky enough, Alcott was crazy, but he at least wanted her educated. And so if you were getting to read and write and think and encounter ideas at a time when other people weren't, you were able to say, like, this is bullshit, and stuff should be different for women. So I really personally like reading that during that time period, women encountering those ideas, because it's before it all gets calcified with the political language and identity politics of today, just like the way people could encounter these ideas fresh, because they were fresh at the time. And that's, so that sensibility is part of what makes the book feel contemporary, even though it has an old-fashioned setting.
Yeah, I also feel like there was a point in my life when I started reading older books. I mean, Little Women was a book that I don't think I sort of registered it, because I first read it when I was like 6 or 7, like I was really young, and I don't think I had made that distinction between like old books and new books. Like I knew that they were like old-fashioned ladies, but that's about all I sort of knew. And then years later, I remember like starting to read like older books, like books that were published like before I was born, and then like before my parents were born, or like maybe the last century, and being like, people could be funny in the past. Like, turns out we didn't like invent humor, but like it was just weird because it's like it didn't even occur to me. Like I was like, the old times, they were like very stodgy and not funny at all, and probably never even had sex or anything, and like modern times like invented all this great stuff. But there is something really, I feel like when you read it, like it is fresh in a lot of ways, and it feels very real, and is actually also very funny. Like there are a lot of funny parts where I laughed, where it intentionally funny, like where it was clear like Alcott was, I don't know, yeah. So
and there's also, as Carmen was speaking to in her piece, the matter of archetypes. So with these 4 sisters, we're able to read ourselves into all of them and against them. And it's like the precursor to Sex and the City in Girls, having 4 different types embody all aspects of a straight female experience.